The next time you are preparing for a project management interview, these are the 5 stories I want you to have readily available in your back pocket. First is going to be an elevator pitch of your career history. This is something that should be precise and succinct to illustrating your understanding of project management and the various elements of that. And what I mean by that is you should have a way to interweave in your answer the 5 project phases that come from the project lifecycle, along with the triple constraint and maybe a few other knowledge areas. If all of this is confusing to you in terms of what I mean, I want you to check out my pinned videos. In one of my pinned videos, I share with you explicitly how to answer this question, and I give you an example of my answer as well, so make sure to check that out. Next is to have a story around a challenging client. There are going to be times where your client is, this is a nice way of saying it, challenging, where it's going to be someone who it feels like no matter how you turn, whatever you do, there's not a way to please them. Have a story how you dealt with that person and what was the end result of the project. Be able to share a story about when a project went off track. Just like how we're going to have to deal with challenging clients, we're going to also have to deal with projects that go off track. Why? Because the very nature of projects is something that is unique. Yes, we may have seen similar projects be done before. We may have done projects similarly before. However, the set of variables that we are dealing with is unique to the situation. And so therefore, it's a possibility that things may go off track. And being able to share with the interviewer how you dealt with this situation, what you did and what the outcome was, is going to help illustrate to them that if you find yourself in that situation in the future, the way that you might approach that situation. Being able to identify and elicit risks and issues. Risks are going to be when something may potentially negatively affect your project. Issues are going to be something happened and it has negatively affected your project. It's great when things go well, but just like how I mentioned before, when things go off track, that is where you as a project manager will be tested. And so being able to identify risks up front, and this doesn't mean it's going to be you as the person who is identifying the risks, but it should be you talking to the people who would understand what those risks could potentially look like. And if you're facing issues coming to a final conclusion, being able to give your interviewer this illustration is going to show your effectiveness as a project manager. And finally, have a story about how you effectively implemented a change. This is probably no surprise that we as humans, when it comes to change is hard. No matter how little or how big it is, change is hard. We want to stick with our habits and our routines, even if it's more painful to do that. It's because it's something that we know, right? So with projects, they often result in an outcome of change. And so being able to understand what your users, what your customers are going to go through, walking that journey with them and giving them the support that they need, being able to show that you've done that is going to illustrate to your interviewer that you are someone who can not only complete a project, but also understand the resulting impact of it. If you want to hear more project management tips, you can follow me. You can sign up for one-on-one coaching. You can also sign up for my Introduction to Project Management course. Those last 2 options are available through the link on my profile.